They think I'm black. That should have been a red flag. But no, I stayed. Is this a sign that we're not meant to be together?
Getting married was the most difficult part.
You shouldn't marry him. It's a sin. Being a makoti is cultural, not religious.
Loving someone isn't something easy, but that's also not enough to convert.
We're looking for an imam, I think, for about a year. Yeah. We got rejection after rejection after rejection. Third year is when it hit. We're like, what is going on?
My name is Luvo. I'm Faniam class.
My name is Abdah, soon to be Abdah class. We met online. We were sliding into each other's DMs. I kind of made the first move because I asked him, when are you going to ask me for my number? And I sent my WhatsApp and I was like, just send me a number, send me a WhatsApp already. And we then was, I think, speaking back and forth about 2 weeks. And before we actually met up, I thought, okay, seeing that there's someone online, because I don't want to get kidnapped, let's meet in public. Let's go to the beach. And we then went for a cute little walk on the beach and had a little snack after. But before we went on the walk...
Yeah. It was our first date and it was as casual as it could get. And obviously I was nervous.
Yeah. Pause on the casual. He came with gym clothes. He came straight after gym.
But we agreed on the date.
Okay, continue.
I put the keys down in the boot now, and then I forget to go to, after I close the bonnet, the boot, I've got my slippers on and everything. I'm ready to go, but I'm like, let me lock the car. I can't find my keys. And then I think half an hour later to almost an hour, eventually I was like, YouTube, do your thing, buddy. Listen, I'm not going to say how we did it, but I managed to get the boot open, got my keys, nerves were done. That was one hell of an icebreaker, I would say.
Definitely.
And it was a beautiful evening after that.
It was. But before we got to breaking into the car,
didn't break in the car.
Okay, before we got into the car, a surfer passed us and said, here's a knife you guys can use. I was like, do you know how to get into the booth? He's like, yes, I've done this many times. I was like, wait, that should have been a red flag. But no, I stayed, I continued, I waited, and he's just knocking the knife into the boot and it's not working. Then we eventually went to YouTube. A year later, I'm like, so why were you breaking into cars? You watch it on movies. He never did it before. Why I never walked away then? But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. It was a lie. He didn't break into cars.
To me, if I fall in love with you, if I get along with you, I couldn't care less what color you are, what race you are, what language you speak. If you and I can communicate, whether it be, or whether we, through sport, physical activity or whatever the case is, I get along with you, I get along with you. If I don't get along with you, I don't get along with you. Doesn't matter what you look like or who you are.
You don't choose who your heart falls in love with. So I'm glad that my heart fell in love with a gentleman. Up to this day, I don't touch my door. He opens the door for me. So I'm a princess. So your heart, genuinely, my heart never chose who I fell in love with, whether it was, no matter the race, no matter the culture. It's just as long as you respect me, I respect you. We can go for it. We can fight whatever comes after. The way he makes me feel, I never understood when people said that your person is your home until I met him. And I was like, I feel safe with this person. No matter where I am, the secureness and how I feel safe around him and with him, that's, I can say, is my favorite thing. And his cute little smile. His Xhosa clothes. He had a traditional outfit on. Oh, that was it.
It was her clothes also. And it happened to be one of the dresses she actually designed herself.
He likes when I can look. So he likes the fitted clothes.
What attracted me to Abdah is it's definitely her kindness, her caring. It's how she carried herself. Yeah, boy. She was nervous on our first date. I was nervous on our first date, but during that whole icebreaker, she was like, listen, I can give you a lift if you need to, if you need to go home. Ne? And I will say this, I've never met a a romantic partner like her before?
So I introduced him to my mom. It was Buba Ans. I'm Muslim, so we were fasting. He met my mom on that night along with the rest of my family. I was nervous. At the time, I didn't know he was nervous. Until I hugged him, his back was wet of sweat. I was like, oh my word, I'm so sorry. But then it was about a year later, and because he's also a little bit old-fashioned, he then went about on Eid, that Eid. He asked my mom if he can be my boyfriend, even though we were dating for a year already. He went and asked my mom for permission to, and then my mommy still pranked me and said, I said no. Oh, I was so sad.
When people say they're family orientated, she actually means, I can't speak for everybody else, but when she says it, she actually means it. So that wasn't something I took lightly, and having to go forward and ask Uguti Mama, I very much like and love your daughter. I would like to continue courting her, and mom gave her blessing and my heart was happy, and I introduced her to my mom. That was the very first time I'd ever actually introduced a romantic partner to my mom. And that again isn't something I also do lightly or just nje. It was just about a year that we both decided to then introduce each other to our parents. And my mom took a liking to her because they both have similar backgrounds. Umama naye ngokukhula kwakhe, she did do a bit of, I don't know if it's called fashion design or needlework or whatever it is called. No disrespect to all the people out there. But Umama and I had a similar background, and that's what they tapped into in their first meeting. And she met my little brother, and only I think it was a year later that I introduced her to my sister. And then I think my friends met her in between us dating. But yeah, so she was the one when I introduced her to Mama. Yeah.
And then on the first time we met, he cried, and then he made me cry in the middle of the mall. I was like, oh, my baby's crying.
Yeah, because I mean, you're meeting my mom for the first time. So that's not something I do often. Well, first time I did it. For me personally, there wasn't anything hard about introducing. It was just, was I sure Guti that this person I'm introducing to my mom, do I feel she's the one? Do I feel she's worth introducing? Because Mina personally, I feel if you're introducing someone outside your house into your family, especially in a romantic setting, that's then someone okay sharp for life wakolo. Yeah, God. So I didn't have any issue introducing her to my mom at all, because I grew up around like I said, in the areas that we happened to also, aside from Mulanga, were predominantly Muslim, had Muslim people. It wasn't anything I wasn't used to, like, hi mama, you're meeting someone, you need to treat her, with kid gloves or anything. I was like, no, she's a special, she happens to be a very special human being that I was like, mama, nah, go get.
His mom used to call me salams.
Salam alaikum.
Salams. It was so cute because she never used to say Muslim, and she could never remember the word Muslim or Islam. Then she's like, oh, you were salams. Yes. But then I think she tried to translate it into English and said salams. I've been to Eastern Cape. Was it 2 weeks?
Yeah, just
a major culture shock. It was amazing, I'm not gonna lie. They in case Kobo, I can say it. There was a morning where I woke up and the car was there. I was like, not today. I closed the door. I was like, Lala, please, I need to go out. No one there spoke English up until the last day. I found out that they can all speak Afrikaans, and they never knew I spoke Afrikaans. So now, at some point, I was speaking to his uncle. They call him Uncle Number 1. And they left us alone. So it's me and him. I'm like, uncle, I don't know if you're hungry. I gave him food. I don't know if you're thirsty. I gave him something to drink. We were sign language at some point trying to figure out what is happening. We just ended up laughing. And then he said, no, I'm full. That's what he's been trying to say the whole time. And I'm just trying to feed him because I don't know what to do. But it was honestly amazing. I can't speak isiXhosa, but I am learning. And I know Standwa Sam and Diaktanda Standwa Sam. We did the lobola negotiations on the 7th or the 6th of June, on a Saturday, 7th. We are now getting married next month. So I spoke to his mom with regards to, the welcoming ceremony and everything that's happening. Because even, let me backtrack to lobola negotiations, we do maskavi. It's like dowry. So we then spoke to the imam. That's another story. We spoke to the imam and we asked him, because of Luvo's culture, and we don't want to, culture is culture, religion is a religion. We didn't want to
impose on each other.
Especially with religion, but with culture, we're both taking it in. Because it's not like my religion is going to tell him what he should do in his culture, for example. So with culture, we have the maskavi, and the maskavi is given to me and it's asked by what I want. Whereas lobola negotiations, they negotiate with the elder family, male family members, and then they can obviously negotiate. So then what we decided was to mix the two so that we can then respect both sides. So my uncle basically negotiated as to how much of what I wanted. And then, because all of that comes to me. So when we asked the imam, how would we do that? The imam said, as long as I have my representative there to say that he's given the dowry to me, it's fine. We don't need to give it to the imam, because usually you do it at the mosque, the morning of the mosque. You bring everything that are asked for on the list. People ask for houses. People ask for cars. It's like you can ask for whatever you want, but you can't get married until that list is fulfilled. Now we're having the nikah next month, and then we're going to have the traditional wedding. But after the nikah, I will then be a makoti already. So I'm going to have the makoti welcoming ceremony here by his mom's house. As far as I know, being a makoti is cultural, not religious. So there isn't anything that's going to stop me from doing anything in the cultural manner, or like, no, I can't do that because I'm Muslim, unless it's the umkomboti, unless that I can't drink.
If we hadn't found this particular imam, Abdah and I wouldn't have gotten married. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, yes, Tanosam, the Muslim man is allowed to take in a non-Muslim woman, but she can't do that. Abdah can't do that, vice versa.
We were looking for an imam, I think, for about a year. We got rejection after rejection after rejection. One imam even told him, which was heartbreaking for me, even told him, just make everyone's lives easier and convert. And that was like, I can't even imagine him having to hear that. Us finding someone to marry us, and I really wanted the nikah. We could have gone to Home Affairs, but I wanted the nikah. And that whole situation was like, is this a sign that we're not meant to be together? And there was a lot of things happening at that moment. Like, things were just going wrong, left, right, and center. And I asked him, Luvo, should we be together? And then we had a chat. We're like, we're going to push through. We're going to come out. Mind you, we had a wedding date set already, and we still never had an imam. And he told us, Muslim man can marry a Christian woman, but it doesn't state that the other way around. So it's on us and the family to decide if it's okay for us now to get married. There were obviously a few things that the imam then said, you can't believe in multiple religions. That's the one thing that we can't get married. And if he hits me, or if he's abusive towards me, that's another reason why we can't get married. And none of the above was applicable to us. And then he said, well, then I'm your imam, you're going to get married in September. We cried.
It was extremely stressful. Even more stressful than the wedding planning that we're both doing. Because to hear no 2,000, 300,000 times, and then to like, okay, sharp, last shot. If we can't, if we do this, if we don't get this guy, there's no way for us to get married in Islam for her. I would also want my wife to celebrate her religion and her culture. So why would I celebrate my culture when she can't rightfully celebrate hers? Over the Moon doesn't begin to describe how we felt when we got that email, and the email stated, yes, we can set up a meeting. Listen.
It was like, what's up?
When I tell you, I felt so relieved. I felt like the lightest person on earth. Yeah, gone yanbona muzindimkhulu, but I felt getting married was the most difficult part.
It's still people in love. We just want to be together.
You know, I would not have converted, and that is with all due respect, my love. I would not have been true to myself, because had I converted, it was converting because ndiyakuthanda. But when it comes to religion, that isn't enough. That I feel you do ngenhliziyo yakho yonke, ngomoya wakho wonke, ne? And I don't want to disrespect anybody by converting just because I love my wife. And I know loving someone isn't something easy, but that's also not enough to convert. And again, I wouldn't be true to myself by doing that. I wouldn't want to spend 20 years with you, and then in that 20 years worth of resentment
built up.
No.
We're going to have the nikah, and then we're going to have the traditional wedding. Imam has requested us to have the nikah at the venue because he wants everyone to be there, everyone to witness it. Usually the nikah happens in the morning at the mosque. But for now, the imam wants it to happen at the venue because he wants everyone to see the different cultures, the different religions. He wants all of us to also respect one another and respect each other's cultures. And he's also just there to show everyone it's two humans that's falling in love.
I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about her. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about Islam.
I protect my peace. I deleted the comments. No, you shouldn't marry him. Because he's not in your religion. It's out of your religion. It's out of your culture. You shouldn't be doing this. It's a sin. The imam told me it's fine. So I'm going to marry this man. So it was just that. I don't think there was anything else, at least not to my face. They think I'm black. Until I open my mouth, they're like, you're not black. Yeah. So that's why it's like, it's okay until we go to family functions. And then they're speaking closer to me and I'm like, auntie, I don't know what you're saying. And they're like, oh, I'm a colored. And then they start like going.
I haven't heard anyone in my family, any one of my friends say anything bad about her religion, say anything bad about her specifically. And if anyone has said anything, water off a duck's back.
There's just a lot of questions on both sides as to
what's happening.
Like just trying to understand
yes
culture and
if anything, it's just questions that come left field. Like how are you guys going to raise the kids?
We'll have babies and they're gonna be Muslim. They're gonna adopt dad's culture. They're gonna be Xhosa, but they're gonna follow the Islamic religion.
I definitely contemplated at one point to go to Yaza guys. My wife already has health conditions, so to make things easier for her, for ourselves, for Kamvale too, I will convert. Yabona, I will make that sacrifice because that's who I want to be with for the rest of my life. I don't see anyone else.
There was a time where, was it a different time, a different lifetime, I would have been Christian, we would have been married by now. Or Luvo would have been Muslim, and I definitely wished for it. I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't. I was wishing that, okay, no, maybe he's just gonna do it. But at the same time, I didn't want our foundation of our marriage to be on resentment. He says it's not romantic, but it is. I get flowers, I get letters, he packs my lunch, and I don't know if the man is gonna go off about this. If I cook, I don't touch dishes at all. I don't even fix up the kitchen, nothing. he goes, okay, baby, thank you for cooking. He goes and cleans and washes up and everything. It's just how attentive he is, how caring he is.
It's the kindness that Abdah has shown throughout the relationship, and that's made me want to do things for her. I know everybody says their wives are amazing cooks, but yes, babe.
My other favorite thing is, because I like a little bit of boom, so I added him 2 sizes up. So I fed him every day, all the time, and now it's 2 sizes more. It's my favorite body. So he made me like flowers by hand, and it was from a ribbon.
Yeah.
And a stick, and then he was sitting here, you'll just see him, waiting for flowers. And he made, I think, about 120 of that by hand. You'll see him up at 1 o'clock in the morning, because he had to finish it before the Lobola negotiations. So, my baby's special. Oh, he shouts at me because I leave my socks everywhere. That's what's annoying. Just pick it up.
No.
No, Shame is perfect. If there was ever a perfect human, it's Luvo class.
Every morning when you get ready for work, I come home and it's like a tornado in there.
Because I need to find an outfit, how it makes me feel.
There is anything really annoying other than Ikasizaki on the floor and the clothes when I come home. My advice to folks who are in our predicament, male or female, with male-to-male partners, female-to-female partners, whatever, but if you guys are in a similar predicament, it is not going to be easy. When I tell you it's like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, add 3 of them on top of that. That's how difficult it is. Go to your pastor, go to an imam, speak to them about these things, and Misa the best they can. They're going to want you to stay in their field, in Islam, in Christianity. And if you are willing and truly willing to convert to either religion, that is a decision you shouldn't make lightly. So if you're doing it with your entire being, with your entire soul, heart, mind, body, and soul. Speak to each other.
Communication.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
I'm not going to lie. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. There's going to be tears, but just push through.
Yeah.
There's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's a very cliche saying, but genuinely, just push through. The first year, we were on honeymoon phase. We were all good and happy and excited. Second year, we started becoming serious. Third year is when it hit. We're like, what is going on?
Speak to each other's parents. Get advice from each other's parents how to proceed, or just get general advice on your situation. Try to find people, find communities. There are definitely communities out there online on the social media platforms that you can get advice from. Yeah,
You can come to us.
yeah, basically.